Didn't start it. We just do that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Lee, and we're on the game of tongues, where we work on speech anxiety in all its gross forms. And right now, we're talking to Kerry. Say hello, Kerry.
Hello.
And Kerry is my mate from Canada, and she's a nurse. And she stuttered since elementary school, but mainly a situational stutterer. And we Skyped a number of times, not that many, half a dozen or so, I don't know. And I'm looking at her notes right now, something like that. And she basically had not had a bad speech incident in over a month and posted a success story in late 2019, right at the end of the year. And we haven't talked a lot since then. We talked one, two, three times, and her speech the last time we talked. I mean, my notes were she's doing great, and her and on March 7th she told me her speech was great and that she was staying on the program, and I really felt like um, she should be in the moving to we should be working on loving to speak in all venues. So I just asked her before we started to Skype this session how her speech had been since we talked, which was a month ago now, and she said in summary, good, but she has been able to do some work on the phone, which has always been a problem for her, and that went very well. So she felt good about that. Then she went on to say that because she's been idle, she was all of a sudden fear started creeping back in there a little bit. So she picked up, started reading aloud more and listening to her auto suggestions more, and that was helping. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
spot on.
let's take it from there and say whenever you feel um, some negative thinking coming in about your speech, what should you do?
Probably, well, I think you should remember all of kind of like the good instances and situations that you've had. And I always tell myself that fear is not going to go away right away. It's something that's probably I'm going to have to work on. And I've had like these fears for pretty much my whole life. And it's going to be something that is going to eventually go away.
It will. It'll go away faster if you meet every single fear thought, if you drown it in a flood of contrary affirmations, like you say, I love to speak, I love to say my name, Carrie, and so forth, or when I speak, calm floods my body, that kind of thing. If you say those and just keep repeating them in the face of it, and do some reaching out. Since phones used to be a problem for you, it's a good thing to get on the phone with some of your friends, if for nothing else, and call some old classmates of yours or school buddies or somebody you now hang out with in your spare time. Just get involved in some conversations like that. And also, you should participate in our speech club meetings on Saturday. SMC Speech Masters Club, which is we meet on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and we have
Oh.
people from all around. Today, we just finished a meeting today. They last an hour, and we had probably a dozen people on there, and they talk about their experiences and whatever. Some of them don't talk, and a lot of them, most of them are pretty vocal, and it's interesting and it's fun, and it's a form of quote public speaking or group speaking. We
Mm-hmm.
view it as a feeder to Toastmasters because we don't have a podium and a mic, and an audience in front of you. It's you see the faces of people around as they're talking, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I've been the host. I'm not sure exactly what the other people see. If they see everybody, I hope they do. Um, but when one person is talking, their face is dominant. At least it is on my screen. But in any event,
Yeah.
um, I think um, it would be good. It would be good for you to join this speech anxiety cures. You know, it's not my company. I licensed my methods to it. And the reason I did is because I can't spread them worldwide. I can't coach 70 million people. And they're developing a team of coaches, and I'm helping them
Mhm.
train them. And they're doing that. And they've got all these programs, courses that I've done some of them. Some other people are doing some. And it's a great program. It's the only community in the world that's anti-stuttering. All the others are acceptance and sitting
Yeah.
around talking about the problem and everybody's stuttering. On here you find 80-90% of the people on there are have used to stutter but they don't anymore, but they're you don't either, and you're a perfect candidate to be sitting there you know chiming in now and again with a few with your thoughts on this or that or the other thing. I mean, it would be good for you. So I
Mhm.
think you ought to join that. Now, the only problem is it's not free, and I can't give it to you, but it's less than 1 hour of therapy for the whole program. Less than 1 hour of therapy for the whole program. So I
Oh.
mean, it can't get much cheaper than this. And they're trying to build something with economic legs on it. My speech anxiety cures, my speech anxiety anonymous. I tried to do it with no money, just my own money, and I couldn't make it work, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't number one, I don't have the skill sets, I don't have the time, and I just like to coach, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to coach for them. I'll coach for free. I'll coach their people for free, or people who come to me still. I'll do that, and that's what I'm going to do. But in any event, getting back to you, the whole. Let's think. What crutches are you on a daily basis in your conversations? Do you actively need and use crutches, or do you not need them much?
No, in daily kind of conversation, no, I don't really use them. The only time I use them is in my top feared situations, which is ordering through the drive-through with someone like beside me, and then also on the phone with someone
Okay,
listening. But most of the time, I don't really use them anymore. Like the only ones that I use when I feel like a block coming is skipping the letter or switching the word completely for something similar. And then I still try to do like the speak like a queen into
good,
announcing. That one I try to do just regularly because it does like kind of lessen the heartbeat because I feel I'm sure every stutterer knows that kind of heartbeat feeling when it's coming. So that kind of
exactly,
lessens the feeling of that.
exactly.
But most of the time I don't really need crutches anymore, which I didn't even realize until now, until you asked me.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Isn't that a happy thing?
Yeah.
See, life is getting better. You see that?
Mhm.
Yeah. And all the stutterers that talk about acceptance, they're talking about acceptance of stuttering. And I wish them well. But what I think we should be accepting is ourselves. I think you should be accepting yourself, and I should be accepting myself. And we should each be doing our best to do our best and be loving people, and it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. Well, we don't need to accept stuttering because we know how to avoid it. You'll never stutter again unless you consent to. You'll never do it.
Mhm.
And when you stop talking and go into your speak like a queen mode, softly, slowly, pronunciation, linkage, passion, smiling, full stops, you're not going to have a problem. You can use any one of those elements and not have a problem, or any two, or any three, or all of them. The more you practice it, the easier it'll be to use it. And it's a way of speaking. It's not really so much a crutch as it is a way of speaking. It's a
Mhm.
style. It is. You're elevating your style. You're not stuttering. You're speaking better than your peers. That's what you're doing.
Mhm.
And it'll get noticed. The more you do it, it'll get noticed. Because you will appear totally composed, in control, rational. thoughtful, reflective, responsible, maybe even wise. So, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's absolutely fun. Tell me about your, give me a recap of your speech journey. Could you do that, kind of?
Yeah. So I've always stuttered and it was like pretty mild, but I never had a job or anything that like I was always kind of like passable. It was only kind of when I started the school year again, in September, like all throughout elementary school and high school, I'd always have like a little bit of a stutter. And then throughout the year again, I would get fluent again. So it was just kind of like something really minor that I never really thought about. And my mom always stuttered. So it was kind of something that I was used to as well. And then I had a period of fluency in my early 20s, and that felt really nice. I was like working at a call center at one of my jobs, which is like something that I'm sure that a person that stutters would completely cringe at.
That's
Um,
right.
right. And then for some reason, I started stuttering again, maybe in my mid 20s. And I think at this point, I was really cognizant of it. So I kept focusing on it. I kept like telling myself that I'm a stutterer, like I'm always gonna stutter, and then like my stuttering got like worse and worse and worse, and then at that point I was looking at therapy. I just finished nursing school, so when I went to therapy, when I had like a consult for therapy, it was like $6,000 for like 3 months, and that wasn't in my budget at the time. And I don't think I would pay for it
I'm
anyways,
glad it
because
wasn't because you didn't need to
yeah.
spend it.
Exactly. So I
And
downloaded some of
frankly, I've
the.
never known anybody who took one of those programs who beat it. I've never known one person.
No, I think it got worse because I downloaded some of like the programs that, not programs, it was like kind of like brochures that they had, and then it was talking about like kind of accepting the stuttering. So like
Oh my God, you need to pay
maybe
six
for
grand
like
to be told that.
yeah,
What was the program anyway? What program was it?
I don't remember, but it was something that was like in Toronto. It was like some speech foundation
Okay,
thing. So
okay.
you think that it would be kind of like, so I tried their methods for a bit. Like I would kind of like force the word out, and it was just so
That's the
embarrassing
worst
and
thing
like
you can do.
humiliating. Yeah, and I felt like really like crummy and things like that. And then it would be like it would say things like accept who you are, like people well you tell us to accept us as well, but that program was kind of like accept that you're a stutterer, just stutter it
You
out if
accept that
people
you're a
look at you.
stutterer. Yeah, that's where we part company. That's what I'm not willing to do.
Yeah, and it was just like it was like kind of like the opposite of what you teach, and I'm obviously way happier with my speech now because right now I'm pretty much at where I was when I was like really fluent in my early 20s. Like the worst when I was stuttering was probably like when I would like drive to places to book appointments, drive to places to like order food. And obviously, that's a huge waste of time and a huge burden. Um, so now, like, I can just pick up the phone if I want to book an appointment, pick up the phone if I want to ask a question instead of emailing someone and waiting 3 days for a response back. So it's just like little things like this
Little
that,
things, 3 days is a long time.
yeah, 3 days is a long time. It's a lot to like have all these things in the back of your head
Yeah,
because you're waiting for, you're doing things less efficient because you're too scared to pick up the phone or kind of things like that. It's just been like an overall confidence booster.
I'm writing a course um, with for this SAC on how to become a coach. This they've Have you looked at their website at all? I haven't emailed you about it or anything, but
I don't think you know.
I'll mention it to you in an email because they're going to have careers. I want to train an army of or help them train an army of coaches to do what I do. Maybe they'll do it, maybe they can do it better than I do it, but I want them to be able to at least do what I do. And I've already trained a handful of them, and they're offering a program. I mean, I can't coach 70 million people, and I'm not going to be coaching forever. And when I quit, I don't want this program to die. I want other people like you to get well because I don't want stuttering on the planet. I just don't want it there. And I'll coach for free as long as I live, and that's fine. Um, my last breath, I'll be coaching somebody like you, and I'll enjoy every minute of it. But I'm thinking that you might want to take their coaching course when they offer it, because it'll improve your speech if nothing else. And I don't know if you'd ever have any interest in coaching or not. Do you think you would or not?
Well, this has always been a question that I've wanted, like I've planned to ask you, or I've been curious about. As someone that like used to stutter, when you hear other people stutter, does that like
No.
trigger anything for
My
you that
wife,
you
my
want
wife
to?
asked me that when I got into helping people in 2016, a lot of
Yeah.
hours a day. She said, "Aren't you afraid that you'll start stuttering again?" I said,
That's what
"No."
I'm worried
I
because
said,
like
"There's
I
no
don't.
way I'm starting
Yeah.
stuttering again because I won't do it. I will shut my trap."
Mhm.
And you say, "Oh, you'd go silent." No, not for long. Just long enough to grab a crutch and come right back at them. No, it's it's a way to it'll everyone who's coached right now. We have Javier, um, a guy from Madrid, Spain, who's exactly your age. We have Stuart from Northern Ireland, who's 35. We have Prathusha, who's from Chennai, India, and she's 24. And we have Tasneem, who is an Arabic attorney in Johannesburg, South Africa, um, who's about 30. And those are trained, certified speech coaches now that I've certified for SAA. I'll keep certifying them as long as I can and doing programs for SAA, even though I'm not a member of SAA. I'm not an officer, director, or shareholder, but I'm a licensor of the methods, and I'm helping them any way I can. And they're promoting my methods. They're putting things. They're going online and putting out ads and stuff like this. They're trying to build. They want to get the word out there that you don't have to stutter. That's the name of the game. That's what we want to pass out. We don't want to stutter anymore. We want to get it off the planet. And we want people like you and me to learn to love to speak and enjoy it every second of our lives and adopt daily mind training so that we elevate our lives. We dictate our thoughts on virtually every subject we can think of. We program our minds just like people program a computer. That's what we do.
Mhm.
And it leads to a better life.
It
You know,
does.
life is
Mhm.
how Carrie. Life is how you see it. It's not just. It is how you make it, but most importantly, it's how you see you made it. And
Mhm.
you're very very young, and you're just getting started in making your life and all that. But and there's going to be a lot of good things in life, and there's going to be a lot of things you don't like in life. But the fact is, you do you see the glass half full or do you see it half empty? And you've got to see it half full. If you do, that's a choice you make. And when you make that choice, you really are choosing the happy life. That's what you're doing. And then you conduct yourself in a way where you have self respect because you work hard and you're a loving person. And that's all you need to do to have self respect. You don't have to worry about what anybody else thinks about you. The only question is, what do you think about yourself? That's the question. And you're
Mhm.
in control of that because what you think is, I mean, you can't make yourself 10 feet tall or you can't make yourself a world class sprinter or whatever, but you can make yourself the best nurse you can be, and you can make yourself the most loving person you can be, and you can have a lot of self-respect. You will have self-respect when you do that, and other people's opinion of you will follow along too. But you don't have to worry about that because if you conquer you, you win the game of life. Period. It's not about conquering other people. And nobody else has your happiness in their hand. You got it in your hand. It's in your head. And you will be happy when you earn it and when you claim it. It's like the last thing I say to myself every day, you know what it is. Today I'll make a happy day. It's my job. My
Mhm.
first job. And everybody I touch, I want to share a happy day with them if any way I can do it. And this leads to a good life. I'm really happy for you. You know, I'm sure you're an excellent nurse, and I'm sure you're going to do very well with your career. And I know that you're going to be a good speaker, but I think you should continue to push your envelope in any way you can. Get on the phone, do some talking, join speech clubs and whatever. The one SAC has is a kind of a feeder. I mean, it's you get on there. Today we were on there, and everyone was speaking so well. There were a couple of people that slightly halting or didn't want to talk, but the group on the whole, everybody's talking. They're all stunned at each other's fluency because they were all stutterers. And now I lost my train of thought. Jeez, I don't know what it was. Yeah, something about happiness, but they're all doing so well, and it's just there's no reason not to. And you should when they lift this ban against going places, you know, go to make it a point to go through the drive-in as much as you can, whether you're just ordering a Pepsi or whatever it is. Keep going through there and
Mhm.
have a good time with them. And when you pull up to that thing, smile at it, you know, and try. They can't see back. It's just an order box, isn't it? At most of these places, I don't really know. I don't go there, but so so have some fun with them. You know, think of something that'll wake them up in there. You know, have a little fun with them, kid with them, and smile when you get up to the counter or to the window there. But be as lighthearted as you can. You know, look for laughter in everything you can, and
Mhm.
it's I that's another thing I say to myself every day. When I'm laughing, I'm happy. I say when I'm loving, I'm happy too. And then I say when I'm laughing, I'm happy. And you know what the effect of that is? I laugh at things. A lot of times, my wife or whoever I'm with will say, "Why are you laughing?" And I say, "I don't know. It just seems funny to me." But you know what? When I'm laughing, I'm happy,
Mhm.
and that's a goal to be happy. But I'm in control of that. No one else is.
Mhm.
So stuttering in the end becomes a blessing. Oh, yeah. Because we not only don't stutter, we love to speak. We teach ourselves to love to speak. We're going to look, we can't wait to get up there and order that food. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hello. You got any good hamburgers in there today? What do you think? Maybe a milkshake. How about that? You know, you
Um,
can, you know, look for a laugh, make it a point. It takes thought and effort, but it's fun, and people will like you better. You'll like yourself better, and you'll be laughing. You'll be the first one laughing at yourself and at everything silly about life. So much of it's beyond our control.
Mhm.
You know the Serenity Prayer, don't you?
No.
You don't? Well, it's an old, old, old prayer, and it says, "Give me the serenity to accept what I cannot change. Give me the
Uh,
courage to change what I can, and give me the wisdom to know the difference."
mm,
There's so much you and I can't change about ourselves, about our friends, our family, the government, the world, the virus, whatever. We can't change them. But we can accept what we cannot change with grace. And then we can change what we can, like our speech. We don't have to stutter. We can love to speak, and you're doing that. You're getting there. You just need to keep working on it in all directions, pushing your envelope in all directions, and you're going to love to speak like I do. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When we had the people on the speech club today, the dozen or so people on there, we were talking about feeling nervous, and I said something like, someone said that they felt nervous, and I said, well, I said let's just kind of go around and see who feels nervous about talking here. I have two sons that were on the call. They never stuttered. They're the only two people there that never stuttered. And one of my sons said, "Well, I feel nervous when I talk on here." And my other son said the same thing. So the point is, everybody feels, and virtually everybody there felt nervous. And I said,
Yeah.
"No, I don't feel nervous, and I'm not misrepresenting myself at all. I don't feel the slightest bit of nerves. I love to be in this group. I want to talk constantly. I love to do it, and you will too. If you want to, and if you'll work at it, you can love it. I don't care how many people are on this call, 12 or 1200, it matters not. I love it, and I want you to love it. And you're not finished until you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just enough to beat the we want you to be among the better speakers in your group. When you speak like a queen, you are. I want you to keep working on that and working on loving to speak and getting this. You got some idle time now because of this corona stuff. So it's a good time to work on that. You can do it on the phone and participate. Calling your friends and working on your auto suggestions a bit and doing some reading aloud, and you can take it to whatever level you want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? Do you believe you can, Carrie? Do you believe you can?
Oh, of course I could.
You
I'm
do.
already starting to like get there. It's a lot slower. Feel like the whole progress has been very incremental.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely getting there.
Yeah. Well, do you want to come to our speech club next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and
Sure,
sit
if you could
in?
just
Sit
send
in.
me like
I'll
an
send you
email.
an invitation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do it on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough girls on there. We only had one today. We usually have at least two. Um, you would have been yeah. One was one slept in. we need all our girls because not as many girls have had the problem as guys.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, about 20%, 80% guys, 20% girls, roughly. But I got some wonderful girls who have some mighty tough hills to climb. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you are not among them. You are at the top of the hill, and you are about to put it in neutral and start coasting down the other side and just pick up speed as you speed to the eloquent category with your momentum. That's what you're going to do. What else you want to talk about?
Nothing much else. I think that was it. I've been doing good. Just a little bit of fear with this whole idle time, but yeah.
But now, what are you going to do now? Tell me what you're going to do when the fears come up. Now, what are you going to do?
Attack it with some positive thoughts, saying I
Yeah,
love to speak. I love to speak. I've been doing really well. Continue reading out loud.
good. And what are your favorite crutches?
Probably skipping the first letter, changing the word completely, and probably smiling.
Huh, that's interesting. Excellent. Excellent. Can you remember the last time that you feel as though you had an incident where you clearly appeared disabled?
Oh, it's been a while now. Probably like in October.
Okay.
Or
All right.
yeah, like October, November 2019.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
2020, I've been doing really, really well.
Okay. Um, I'll say 5 months without bad incident. And you realize that they're totally within your discretion whether or not you ever have one. It's your choice. You realize that, do you?
Hmm. Mhm.
All you have to do is stop. Tell me what you do. You suddenly you're they hand you the mic and you're on the stage and there's 10,000 people there and the TV cameras are going and suddenly you start feeling your heart running and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, I got to introduce myself and to 5 people on the platform." What are you going to do?
If I ever come in a situation like that or something similar, usually I would just kind of stop and then I'll take a break, maybe like 1 or 2 seconds, then I'll just restart my whole sentence. It might be the same words or it might be like a completely not
Totally
like the
different.
same idea but with a different
Right.
wording.
And what
Yeah.
crutch would you use when you start again, or crutches? What would you be thinking? Any crutches when you start again?
When I start again, mm, I think if in that situation, I wouldn't go for the same exact same sentence. I probably switch the words around and just restart.
Okay. If you would embrace, if you would think of positive emotion when you
Mhm.
come back, it will normally lead you to modulation. Come back like you're. Another thing is if you lower your, speaking like a queen, if you speak in a softer voice, you will have less pressure. You can still have tremendous enthusiasm in what you say. You don't have to say it in a loud voice. So, thinking enthusiasm is probably, passion, positive emotions, soft voice I mean, in your case, positive emotions would probably, to me, would probably be more than enough for you. Crutch 8. Just embrace that. How passionately can you say what you're saying? Do you think that sounds like something you could embrace?
Yeah, I feel like I could try that. I've always been like more on the monotone side since
And,
like forever, so I feel like that could be something I could try.
okay. Who you've been working with? What, Tasneem or Pratusha?
Tasty.
Tasneem.
Tasty.
How's that? Is that going well?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I see her once a month, but I think we're gonna start reducing it, like to kind of like an as needed basis.
Well, you're doing great, and that's wonderful. And so I'll send you an invite to the speech club. And but this community of anti-stuttering people who are fighting stuttering and want to get it off the planet, I hope you'll join that community because it's a good place to be. You're one of us. Anybody who stuttered and beat it, or trying to beat it, them too, should be in that community, not in this drifting around out there with the acceptance world. You know, we're
Hmm.
fighting that. We're in the minority. We're in the minority. They think that we're crazy or we're lying or something else, but we're not. And I've got almost 100 people posted on SAA now, success story, almost 100 of them. There can't be a
Hmm.
100 people that are lying,
Yeah. Yeah.
and making videos and writing stories and with coaching sessions and all that stuff. So, well, it's good to see you. I think you sound great. You sound great. You got a good attitude, and that's what it's all about. But you got to get to love to speak in all venues. That's next, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to
Yeah.
convert stuttering into a blessing by really embracing your mind training. You're still doing that daily? Are you still doing that?
Yeah. I'm not doing as much. Like I think I was doing 30 minutes when it was really bad. So I just kind of listened to them maybe 20 minutes now, 15,
20
20
minutes is
minutes.
good, but at least do it once a day.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah. I
bed,
do at least once a day.
when you get up, because and it's not just speech. If you're having negative thinking about anything else, you should make a list of whatever those negative things are. I'm bored, I'm depressed, I have insomnia, blah 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 blah, whatever they are, and then that's not what you say. You write the contrary thing. Um, Instead of saying I won't be bored, I say I find life fascinating. You know, um, I won't be depressed. No, I feel elated with my situation and prospects. You find a way to put something, a positive contrary affirmation. You don't accept negative thinking. Don't let it in there. It's toxic. You don't want it in there. You don't have to have it. That's the whole part of programming your mind. Your mind is like a computer. You can program. You're in charge of writing the script for this thing. And
Yeah.
if you don't, the TV and the newspapers and the people on the street corner and the people sitting next to you, they're all going to program it for you, even just by their thoughts, not to
Yeah.
mention their words.
Mhm.
We need to put in it's like cooking in the kitchen. You just let everybody come in and throw stuff into the stew. What do you think it's going to taste like? You gotta be in charge of this baby. So we need that daily programming every day. I mean, that's the most important message in my book. Become the boss of your mind. That's number one.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. I fight it every day, but I do better. I'll never be perfect, of course, but I will do better and better and better. That's what I'll do. You can do the same thing, Gary. You can do the same.
Mhm.
Will you do it? Will you do it, Gary? Will
Mhm.
you do it? Will you do it, Gary? Will
Oh,
you?
oh, yes, yes, yes. I thought you asked what am I doing? I'm like, what?
Okay. All right. Well, I will let you go and keep up the good work, and
Hey,
I'll
thank you.
I'll see you in a month.
Okay.
And we'll talk some more.
Okay. Sounds good.
Have a good one, dear.
You too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.